Good morning, Africa and the world. Today is the second day of the Southern African Oil and Gas Conference. My name is Oliver Chikozoro, representing Africa Rising TV, and I'm joined by Nazeem Braaf, Project Management Officer of SANPC. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You just completed a panel on global energy transition strategies. And if you look at this year's theme, which is enabling sustainable oil and gas development for a diversified energy future. From your perspective, what does this theme mean for Africa's oil and gas sector?
I think, thank you so much, Oliver, for the question. I think it's a very topical question and a very topical debate raging not only in South Africa, but also globally. Yeah. As we are, very much entering the energy transition phase, vis-a-vis the Paris Accord, of which South Africa is a signatory to, as well as the global shift from fossil fuel to more low-carbon energy. This is a very topical, a very critical piece. South Africa being part of a global world and very pivotally located between the East and the West, it is also something that we have to deal with. So from our perspective, it is the right time, but equally it is very important that we understand that we have to deal with what they call typically the tri-dilemma question. The question of poverty, the issue of sustainability, as well as affordability in terms of security of supply. So those are the key elements of which South Africa have to deal with this as a Southern Africa bloc and also as a continent to deal with this transition process.
You mentioned poverty alleviation there, and one of the challenges I think if we have learned from COVID-19 is that one should have critical thinking, but one should also collaborate intentionally to achieve set objectives and of course to build the Africa that we want. And one of the things that we would like to do is to have the entire ecosystem to have these kind of dialogues. How do we ensure that we also have an inclusive of small and medium enterprises such as women and youth businesses in the sector?
I think it's an absolutely critical component of that, and I often look at South America. You look at Petrobras, PDVSA in Venezuela, and I look at the program that they've got, particularly for human capital development. I'll give you an example. Petrobras has a research facility. Petrobras is the national company of Brazil, and they're partly listed on the New York Stock Exchange. They have a research unit equal to none in the world today, staffed with 350 PhDs, 450 master's degrees. And these are Brazilians. And they have linkages with all the top universities and the technology centers in the world. And for South Africa, that's a model that we are extremely passionate about because it shows you exactly what we need to do as part of this process. Trinidad and Tobago we heard yesterday, and actually I was so proud to hear about the development of Trinidad and Tobago because I had 4 colleagues in my life that we did leadership together, and they became the champions in Trinidad and Tobago. And that's what we need to inculcate in South Africa. It is a stepping stone. It is creating opportunity for all players, whether it's in the petroleum sector or in the geologist, etc., or the small business.
And the entire value chain.
The entire value chain is critical. South Africa has shifted from a net exporter of fuel to a net importer. That creates vast opportunities for people to participate. And that is one of the key objectives of this SANPC company, is to make sure that there is beneficiation right across the value chain.
They say gas is the future as it is cleaner bridge fuel. Are African countries doing enough to promote it as a primary source? Are we progressing to promote it as a primary source, as a continent?
I think the word is clearly not. The resources currently is to a large extent flowing into Europe, where the demand is escalate because of the dispute with Ukraine. It is a resource that we are gifted. We now see how it's transforming Mozambique. We can see how it's transforming places like Algeria, Egypt, etc. Angola is clearly starting to play, and then Namibia. gas is a key component. South Africa, as I just made the example, we need to wake the brulpadda and the leopard. Maybe the brulpadda and the leopard is snoozing. We need to wake it up. We need to do a investment in the infrastructure for gas because we have the potential in Southern Africa to develop a gas economy as a clean energy. And of course, it is aligned with the Paris Accord for low emissions. We need to put some serious horsepower behind that.
You mentioned, you highlight and reflect on Dr. Dex Driver's presentation yesterday and how much we can learn from what has been done in Brazil and other parts of South America. Is there any last comments you like to share, especially to young entrepreneurs who want to be in the oil and gas sector?
I think my view is the sky's the limit. We should take the initiative. And I think one of the things that we need to do is break the barriers. We need to learn from these developing countries. We keep on looking at Europe and the US. We need to look at the Brazils. We need to look at the Malaysians. We need to look at Indonesia and these developing nations. India is a prime example, in China. So that's where we have to take the cue. There's so much to learn, and there's so much that we can grasp instead of trying to reinvent the wheel.
Thank you so very much. Here you have it.
Thank you.
Let's collaborate, let's work together to achieve set objectives, and also let's learn from those that have done it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.